So the first question is, who is John Yoo?
So first of all, people need to understand who John Yoo is. I mean, he was not just a clerk for Clarence Thomas, as you say, the most conservative justice on the Supreme Court. He was one of the principal architects or defenders of the torture memo process that we went through during the Iraq War, what was referred to at the time as enhanced interrogation techniques, rather. This included waterboarding, and he was among the lawyers working for the government who was providing justification for waterboarding and other such things that have since been viewed as forms of torture.
So John Yoo was part of Bush Jr. and Cheney and Alberto Gonzalez, their administration. And this deals with what I like to call the Cheney dilemma. The Cheneys had the Attorney General then write a torture memo, lied us into the war in Iraq, and did all these things out of a sense of hyper-patriotism in response to January 6th. They believed in the imperial presidency. We are now living the proof of exactly what happens when you combine two things. You see, the Attorney General, Alberto Gonzalez then, obviously, and John Yoo believed, when they wrote the memo, that those people who were saying that a convicted felon could hold public office at the DC level, which is where ultimately our swamp really comes from, because when you get these types of concepts, these legal theories that invent the swamp, you have a combination of the imperial presidency and a convicted felon, you get exactly what you have. The desire to deprive people of due process rights, of course, because he needs to hold office and he needs to not believe in the rule of law, because the rule of law for a person who is a convicted felon is that they're not supposed to hold public office because of the impeachment clause, which says being convicted of high crimes and misdemeanors means you're not supposed to hold public office. So of course you don't want people to have due process rights. And in that, of course, you want to, as fast as you possibly can, to invoke the position to get rid of habeas corpus, which enables him, of course, to prevent justice coming to him, the convicted felon president, who, by Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution, should be impeached. He should be removed. He should be based on John Yoo's decision and Alberto Gonzalez's time as Attorney General, that in their mind should potentially be unconstitutional, because the conviction in a court with all appeals exhausted should be the same as that of being convicted in the U.S. Senate. So yes, Donald Trump should be impeached. He should be impeached right now. His presidency should itself be unconstitutional because it is in direct conflict with being convicted of high crimes and misdemeanors, which Trump has committed and has been found guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors while going into the presidency. Now, most clearly about that is everything else that Trump is doing. But the reason why supporting John Yoo's position should be to bring up the 2006 DOJ memo, Collateral Consequences Upon Conviction, and hold the simple fact that the Attorney General's office, the Department of Justice back then, believed that Donald Trump and people like him should not hold public office because they are convicted felons in violation of the impeachment clause itself. This is why it's great that we now have the workers of the Attorney General's office back then that held that position. So let's get to work, let's keep going, and get this damn administration ended and impeached or judged unconstitutional. Thank you. I hope you got value out of this, and if you did, please like and share this video, and subscribe. That's just trying to help us grow to the point where, yeah, we can start restoring the honor of Washington, D.C., and begin this debate and solve this debate and clean the swamp by the American people collectively agreeing that the swamp must be ended, and that begins by restoring our honor. So please like, share, and subscribe.